Welcome back to the Explainer. Today, we are diving into something called the CPMAI framework. That's the Cognitive Project Management for AI. It's a really powerful methodology designed to keep your AI projects from completely going off the rails when, things get messy, which they almost always do.
So let me ask you something right off the bat. Is your AI project actually built to handle detours? I mean, really think about it. Because let's be honest, in the world of AI and data, those unexpected twists and turns, they're not just a possibility. They are absolutely guaranteed to happen.
Okay, so let's get into a really common trap. I'm talking about a story that will probably sound way too familiar if you've ever been in the trenches with an AI project. It's a huge pitfall so many teams just stumble right into.
All right, picture this. You're following that classic, super rigid process, right? You're checking the boxes. Business understanding? Check. Data understanding? Check. Data prep? Yep. And now you're weeks into this thing, deep in the model development phase. Your team is coding, things are happening, and then, bam, you hit a brick wall. You find out there's some huge fundamental flaw, maybe some data leakage you totally missed weeks and weeks ago.
And this is where it really hurts. In a rigid system like that, finding something this late, it isn't just a little setback. No way. It puts the entire sprint at risk. All that work your team just did on modeling, it could be totally worthless. Just think about the wasted time, the wasted money. It's a disaster.
But what if there was a better way to do this? What if there was a framework actually designed for how unpredictable AI development really is? Well, that's exactly where CPMAI enters the picture.
Okay, let's look at what this thing actually is. Officially, CPMAI is a methodology that's AI-specific. It's vendor-neutral, which just means you're not locked into any one company's software. And, here's the most important word, it is iterative. It's basically built from the ground up to handle the messy, data-heavy reality of AI work, taking some of the best ideas from Agile and data mining. So, what's it look like? How's it structured? Well, it's got 6 main phases, but the real magic isn't the phases themselves, it's how you can move between them. And here they are. You've got Phase 1, business understanding, all the way through Phase 6, model operationalization. Now, looking at this list, you might be thinking, okay, this looks pretty standard, pretty linear. But that's the trick. The game changer isn't the what, it's the how you're supposed to navigate these steps. And that brings us to its superpower. This is the core concept that really makes CPMAI such a game changer for AI projects. This is straight from the methodology itself. The key phrase is that these phases are mutually iterative. And look, this isn't just some nice suggestion. It means if you're working away in Phase 4, model development, and you suddenly realize there's a problem with the data, you are literally empowered to jump right back to Phase 2 and fix it.
Here's a good way to think about it. It's like a detective investigation, right? A detective doesn't just find one clue and say, okay, done with that, moving on. No. If a new piece of evidence comes up, it might send them all the way back to the crime scene or back to re-interview a witness from day one. New discoveries completely change the path forward. That's the mindset we're talking about here.
Okay, so let's go back to our old scenario, but this time with this new framework. You're in Phase 4. You're deep in model development. You're training your model. And the results are just weird. The performance is terrible, and you're scratching your head trying to figure out what's going on.
So you start digging. And then it hits you, that big aha moment. The problem isn't the model. It's not your algorithm. It's the data. You realize the team fundamentally misunderstood one of the key features. It's a Phase 2 problem that you only just found, all the way here in Phase 4.
And this is the magic. This is the CPMI move. Instead of throwing your hands up and calling the whole sprint a failure, the team just loops back. You go back to Phase 2, you reevaluate that data, you fix the prep, and then you move forward again. And this all happens within the same sprint. That detour, it's now just part of the journey. It's not a dead end anymore.
So, okay, why is this iterative loop such a big deal in the real world? Let's break down the actual, tangible benefits you get from being this flexible.
I mean, the payoff here is just huge. First, you're catching those fundamental errors way earlier, which cuts down your project risk like you wouldn't believe. It also means you get much better models, because you're fixing the root cause of a problem, not just slapping a Band-Aid on it. Of course, this saves you an incredible amount of time and resources. You're not just throwing entire sprints in the trash. And at the end of the day, it just makes your whole team more agile, more able to roll with the punches that data science always throws at you.
Look, AI development is almost never a straight line from A to B. It's a journey of discovery, full of twists and turns. The whole point of the CPMAI framework is to embrace that reality. So I'll leave you with this question to think about. How many of your own past projects, the ones that failed or went way over budget, how many of those could have been massive successes if your team had just been allowed to embrace the loop,